There is a strange kind of math that governs falling. Climbing a hill, every step forward gains you a little ground, but slip, and you do not lose that same little ground. You lose far more because now you have to climb back to where you already were before you can gain anything new. Most people never notice this. Warren Buffett built his entire fortune on it. He once put the whole philosophy into 2 sentences. Rule number 1, never lose money. Rule number 2, never forget rule number 1. People hear that and they smile because it sounds like a joke. Of course, nobody wants to lose money. But Buffett was not joking. He was pointing at the single most misunderstood idea in all of investing, the one that separates the people who quietly get rich from the people who spend 30 years running in place. Walter can show you why. Walter was a dentist in Ohio who started investing in his early 40s. He was smart, disciplined, and he read everything. When the market was hot, Walter chased the hottest names, the stocks everyone at the office was talking about. Some years he was up 40% and felt like a genius. But every few years the market would turn. One of his big bets would collapse, and he would watch half of that position vanish in a matter of weeks. Walter always told himself the same thing. It will come back. The market always comes back. Here is the trap that swallowed Walter. When you lose half of your money, you do not need to gain back that same half to break even. You need to double what is left. A 50% loss requires a 100% gain just to return to where you started. Lose half, and you have to climb twice as high simply to stand where you were standing before. Walter spent his good years climbing back from his bad years. After 2 decades, he had earned a return that barely beat a savings account, even though some of his individual years looked spectacular. This is the asymmetry Buffett understood in his bones. A loss and a gain of the same size are not equal. A small loss is easy to recover from. A 30% loss takes a 43% gain to undo. A 60% loss takes a 150% gain. And a 90% loss, the kind people suffered in the worst crashes, needs a 900% gain to make whole again. The deeper the hole, the steeper the climb, and the climb gets harder the further down you fall. So when Buffett says never lose money, he is not telling you to avoid every dip. Even he loses money on positions. He is telling you never to put yourself in a spot where a single mistake takes you so far down that you can never climb back. Protecting your capital is not the boring part of investing. It is the whole game. Think about what this does to your decisions. The average investor wakes up asking one question: how much can I make? Buffett wakes up asking the opposite question first: how much can I lose? He calls it his margin of safety, an idea he borrowed from his teacher, Benjamin Graham, the father of value investing. Graham taught that you should only buy something when its price sits so far below its real worth that even if you are wrong, even if the future disappoints you, you still do not get badly hurt. You build in a cushion. You leave room to be wrong because you will be wrong. Everyone is wrong eventually. The only thing that matters is whether being wrong destroys you or merely disappoints you. Most people invest with no cushion at all. They buy at the top because the story is exciting. They put everything into one idea because they are certain. They borrow money to buy more because they cannot lose. And then the math of falling does to them what it did to Walter, except worse, because they had no margin of safety to absorb the blow. The clearest proof came at the end of the 1990s. The internet was going to change everything, and it did, but the stocks attached to it had run far past anything they were worth. Buffett refused to touch them. For 2 straight years, the press mocked him. They said the old man had lost his touch, that he simply did not understand the new economy. He sat there holding cash, looking foolish, watching everyone else get rich on paper. Then the bubble burst, and most of those companies lost 80, 90, in some cases 100% of their value. The people who had called Buffett a dinosaur were wiped out. Buffett had not been slow. He had simply refused to fall. There is a famous bet that shows how seriously he takes this. In 2007, he wagered $1 million that a simple low-cost index fund would beat a basket of elite hedge funds over 10 years. These were the highest paid money managers in the world, people who charged enormous fees precisely because they promised to be clever. Buffett did not bet on cleverness. He bet on the slow, unglamorous approach of owning the whole market at almost no cost and not making catastrophic mistakes. 10 years later, he won, and he won by a wide margin. The hedge funds, for all their brilliance, could not overcome their own fees and their own occasional disasters. The index fund just kept its footing and kept climbing. That is the half of the rule nobody talks about. Never losing money is not only about avoiding crashes. It is about avoiding the slow bleed of fees, of taxes, of constant trading, of jumping in and out at the worst possible moments. Morningstar measures this every year in a report they call Mind the Gap, and the finding never changes. The average investor earns noticeably less than the very funds they own, because they buy when things feel good and sell when things feel scary. They lose money not in one dramatic crash, but in 1,000 small acts of bad timing. Every one of those is a violation of rule number 1. Here is where it gets personal, because protecting your capital is not really about the market. It is about you. The reason most people lose money is not that they picked the wrong stock. It is that they could not sit still. They felt the fear and they acted on it. Buffett's real edge was never a secret formula. It was temperament. He has said the most important quality for an investor is not intelligence, but the ability to control the urges that get other people into trouble. He watched people with far higher test scores than his blow themselves up again and again because they could not resist the thrill of the big bet or the panic of the big drop. So what does Walter do differently if he gets a second chance? He stops asking what could make him rich quickly and starts asking what could wipe him out. He spreads his money across the whole market instead of betting the farm on the story of the month. He keeps enough cash that he never has to sell in a panic. He stops paying high fees to people promising magic. He accepts smaller, steadier gains, knowing that steady gains compounded over decades without a single catastrophic loss will quietly outrun the genius who soars one year and crashes the next. He trades the fantasy of the spectacular year for the near certainty of the spectacular decade. This is the part that feels backward. The path to getting richer than almost everyone else is not about being the boldest person in the room. It is about being the one still standing when the bold ones have blown up. Buffett did not win because he found more winners than everyone else. He won because he had far fewer disasters. He let compounding do the work, and compounding only works if you never reset it to zero. Every devastating loss is a reset. Every reset throws away years you can never get back. The math of falling never changes. Slip near the bottom of the hill, and you barely notice. Slip near the top after years of climbing, and you can lose everything you worked for in a single season. The higher you climb, the more rule number 1 matters. The investors who understand this sleep well during crashes, because they were never overextended in the first place. The ones who ignore it spend their best years climbing back to where they already were. So the next time you are about to put your money somewhere, do not ask how much you might make. Ask the question Buffett asks first. What happens to me if I am wrong? If the honest answer is that being wrong would set you back years, you do not have a margin of safety. You have a gamble dressed up as an investment. Walk away, keep your footing, and let the strange math of falling work for you instead of against you. Because the people who win this game are not the ones who never fall. They are the ones who never fall so far that they cannot get back up. My name is Ben. Stay sharp.